Hey, what's up everyone? Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye here, and today we're going to do 2-question Tuesdays. Very original, I know, what rhyming. But I wanted to engage more, and I did this a while back before I just started posting some two videos on Tuesdays. I really want to make it more engaging for you and me, and that way we can connect a little bit more and I can answer direct questions. So every Tuesday I'm going to try and commit to this as long as you guys keep asking questions. I'll answer them, hashtag Gary V. And so today we got a couple here. One involves the Sony A6300, and the next is I'm gonna give up Nikon. So the past few weeks I did my slew of Sony A6300 videos, not as much as any other channels because they over-tested and did a lot of stuff, but good for them. But one of the main questions I got on my review video, which I'll link down below and I'll put it up in the eye in the sky, wherever that is, so check out the full review of the A6300 in New York. And it is, does this Sony A6300 overheat? And there were a lot of questions. You know, Paul asked, and Dime Daddy or whatever had asked those questions below. And, you know, so the Sony A6300, I did test in, when I was doing the review while I was vlogging, and I did test in video time-lapse and doing photo time-lapse as well. I know that was something else someone had requested, that they were going to do more or less like a 12 or 24-hour photo time-lapse, and they weren't sure if the camera was going to overheat. Admittedly, yes, the camera does get hot. You could have it on 4K, just shooting for about, 4 minutes or 5 minutes, if not a little less, and even 1080p to a certain extent, and the camera does get warm. It'll get warm. It's a smaller camera. It happens a lot. That's Sony. They still haven't really figured that part out, but it is processing a lot of information in this little guy right here. So when you do video, the camera will get warm and it will get a little hot. But like I mentioned in the review video, I didn't notice that it overheat. Like it didn't shut off on me. I actually ran straight time lapse of about 28 minutes or whatever the recording time is. And after about 23 minutes, I did get a little warning icon that it's getting hot, but it didn't actually shut off and nothing happened. But the camera physically will get a little warm. And then I did do the, one of the questions is, well, how about if it's in a, warmer environment and you want to do a photo time lapse? And it did get hot as well, but it didn't give me any warning or anything after doing it for about 30 minutes. I didn't go crazy and do hours. You could test that yourself if you really want. It's just not something that I do. But even 30 minutes of straight just, bracketing photos every, I think I did maybe 30 seconds or something like that, just a little something different. It didn't go crazy, it didn't overheat, it didn't do anything random. So the Sony A6300 for me, and I know for some others that they were in like Florida testing it out and it was like 100 degrees out, any situation your camera's gonna get warmer, and I'm sure it would probably overheat or do something there. But any normal room temperature, just regular outside type of day, it's fine, and it didn't overheat for me. So DP Chris asked, and hey DP, thank you for always watching, am I gonna give up Nikon or am I really switching to Sony? And it's funny because in the past couple of weeks, I've really tried to diversify my content to not really just be Nikon and one Sony thing related. That's why you've seen some Canon things on there, some more Sony things, Sony lenses and everything over the past couple months. I really just want to diversify my content because I've had a lot of experience with a lot of different brands, but I do obviously shoot Nikon primarily for my weddings, events, and whatever I do. But I am absolutely not giving up Nikon as of yet. Yeah, I do have the Sony A6300, which is popular. A lot of people are getting the G-Lens glasses for it. That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm just too heavily invested in Sony and Nikon right now because I just have a lot of their gear and selling it off would be tough. I don't think I would go to Canon. There's nothing against Canon. Canon gear is amazing. Their video stuff's great. They've got some great lenses. I just think for me, more the still side, I think Nikon is more of a rock star in that regards for the stills that I do, and I'm just invested in it. It would be a pain. But I have questioned myself that maybe I might switch to Sony, but then yet again, I don't know how it would affect you guys watching and everything like that. So I'm trying to have a stake in a lot of the games, but professionally for like weddings and stuff like that, I still don't trust the Sony systems, even though there's Sony wedding photographers out there. That's fine. Jason Lanier has a couple of videos that he posted of him shooting a real wedding, and it turned out great. I still don't like the battery life. I still don't trust it for myself. So going the Nikon DSLR route is probably still going to be my game, at least for most of the rest of the year until I finish out like 4 or 5 of my weddings. Thank God that I only have. So as of right now, Nikon is going to stay in my bag. But Sony really does tempt me. It's interesting to see if they're going to come out with another body because the rumor to in a couple months, and it's you know, prices are going to drop and things are going to change. But I was able to test out the Sony A7 and the A7S2, whatever one it was. Check that link down below as well. I had a week-long experience with that in Orlando, Florida for a charity event. And I was very impressed by it. There were a couple drawbacks that I'll note in there. So check that description there and check the eye above the cards, and you'll see that there as well. There you have it, folks. That is your 2 Questions Tuesdays. Ask more questions. I'm going to have more next week, and I already have a couple of these planned out. But ask more questions. Let's talk. Let's engage. Let's have some fun. As always, keep an eye out.